What's up, everybody? I was going to do a little bit of a DBQ a little bit of a DBQ here for you, just to get ready for your DBQ test coming up. So I decided, since we're going to be reviewing the Age of Exploration this week, that we'll do the part of a DBQ on the Age of Exploration. Well, I don't want this to be an hour-long video. I don't want this to be a 30-minute long video. So I don't know. We'll see. 10, 15, 20 minutes maybe, but hopefully it gives you some good stuff, right? Okay. So the DBQ question is going to be much more intricate than simple, like analyze the causes. But we'll work our way up to that, right? So I'm going to open up a new document because I'm going to write on the second document here. And I'm always picky about my... I'm always picky about my font size and stuff. So usually scratch paper is nice to have, but I don't have that with me. And if I did, you wouldn't be able to see it. So let's start here. Okay. So I know the first part of my DBQ is the introduction. Now, this prompt is basically asking for something about the Age of Exploration. That's perfect. Right? Whenever there's just one time period, that's easy to write a context paragraph for. At least it's the easiest to write a context paragraph for. So again, context paragraphs. Let's scoot this up a little bit. All right. I want the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, and the how. And that will help me write a context paragraph. So you can fill that chart out if you want, but I'm just going to write, I always start with the Age of Exploration was, right? Or if the DBQ was about the Enlightenment, I would start with the Enlightenment was a time period in the 15th through 16th centuries. In this case, that's 1492. That's the 15th century, and into the 1500s is the 16th century. Centuries in which, let's see here, European countries were sailing across oceans to find trade routes. Well, I'm gonna say to find glory. No, that's not good either. See, so I probably am already spending too much time on this because the AP readers know it's a rough draft. So I kind of just want to get stuff on the paper. I'm breaking my own rule, right? Just get stuff on the paper, and then that way you can reorganize it later. So essentially what I want to say is European countries were sailing across to find glory, God, and gold. Now, I need to explain that a little bit. Explorers usually financed through their governments. I'm not writing a lot of the essay here. I'm only going to write 2 paragraphs, so don't think it's just me typing the whole time. Usually financed through their governments, set out to sea with new technology, such as the caravel, which could sail into the wind. Now that's just... Is there anything in the prompt about technology? No, but that's just me showing off that I know a little bit more. They want to see what you know, and that's a good way of doing it. And this one is in, or going to be in, our Age of Exploration Ed puzzle. Excuse me. So that one we can add. Explorers, usually financed through the government, set out to sea with new technology, such as the caravel, which could sail into the wind, to gain fame, to find wealth, or to spread religion. Specifically, well, let's just stick religion. So that's kind of my glory, God, and gold, right? Fame is glory, wealth is gold, and religion is God. A little out of order, whatever. So who did this, right? Portugal and Spain were the first to explore, as both were looking... What were they looking for? Trade routes to India by water. Let's put water. Okay. So I got a lot of the Who. I'm going to show off a little bit more sailors like Christopher Columbus, Bartholomew Diaz. I don't know how to spell Bartholomew, so who cares? As long as I spell it close, they'll know what I mean. And he was Portuguese, so I think there's an S at the end of his name. I'm not 100% sure on that. Bartholomew Diaz and Vasco da Gama all set out to find India. So is that sailors one needed? I mean, I put Portugal and Spain. Isn't that enough? Who? Maybe. I know 3 sailors. I might as well put them out there. Prince Henry the Navigator. Maybe you might remember him. Or I feel like there were more. Ferdinand Magellan. Whatever. Although Magellan did not go to find India. Guys, sorry for yawning. Excuse me. Okay, so I got the who. I got the what, meaning what is the age of exploration. I got the when with the 15th, 16th centuries. I got the where, so I'll add a little bit of where. Although the Portuguese sailors eventually got around Africa and developed trading posts in both Africa and India. Spanish sailors ended up in the Americas and soon would, do I want to say conquer? Yeah, I guess I do. Conquer that area. All right. So that is the where. Now, why were they doing this? Well, I kind of put the whole glory, God, and gold already. And how were they doing this? I kind of put the new technology. So this paragraph to me, I mean, it's hitting everything it needs to. I guess like if I wanted to show off a little more, maybe that's a good recommendation is I always think, okay, when you feel like you're satisfied, maybe there's one more thing you could show off with that and you could put it there. So, for instance, I know that there was a Treaty of Tordesillas, which drew a line right down the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and gave Spain everything to the west and Portugal everything to the east. I don't know. I don't know what I want to put in there. I'll put it in later. But let's move on. So now I got to write my thesis. So before I do, I'm going to restate the prompt in a question form. So, what were the causes of the age of exploration? And then my thesis is going to fit right here. I don't know what it is yet. Let's go back to the documents. All right. So we're probably not going to do all the documents, but we'll do enough to get maybe a couple thesis categories, even though we need 3. Historian John P. McKay describes the impact of the fall of Constantinople. That's Renaissance time period on Europe and the role it played in the causing the age of exploration. Okay, so by the mid-16th century, Ottomans controlled the sea trade in the eastern Mediterranean, blah, 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 and their power extended as far west as Vienna. That's Austria. Great. Ottoman stuff. Don't need them right now. Ottoman expansion frightened Europeans. Ooh, a cause. Ottomans. They didn't want the Ottomans to be too strong, okay? The Ottoman armies, seemingly nearly invincible, and the empire's desire for expansion limitless. It's a little weird sentence. In France, in the 16th century, twice as many books were printed about the Turkish threat as about the American discoveries. So they're really scared if they're printing books about threats. Remember, Turkey and Ottoman are the same place. The strength of the, you know what, I've read enough. So here, again, I'm always thinking like causes. Let's go with Ottoman threats of trade routes, I guess. Okay, so what's the cause? Europe is like, no, we're not going to let the Ottomans be a bigger empire than us. So if I want to come back to this document later for little intricacies, like, oh, there's some Christian, maybe some religious stuff here, I could do that. It also raised economic concerns. I see that. So maybe I could say economics. So what is my category name? Like if I said one cause of the age of exploration was what? Maybe economics is the answer. Doc 2. A map of exploration routes coming from Portugal. Rulers of Portugal began to find voyages of exploration under the rule of Prince Henry the Navigator, blah, blah, blah. So this is just a map here. And man, this is what's a cause here? Well, they want to get to India. And I know they want to get to India. We know because of their spices. So I don't really like this, the way this is formatted. So I'm just going to put the causes for Doc 2 up here as well. And just for my own benefit, I'm going to shrink this a little bit. So causes for Doc 2, that is get to India and had good technology. Portuguese, remember, had the best technology. By the way, this is for spices, which means economics. Ooh, I got 2 for economics here. And by the way, the Mediterranean is over here somewhere, which is what the Ottomans controlled. So Doc 1 and 2, I could probably use in an economics paragraph. All right, let's see. Let's see. Can I find a smaller document here? Ooh, look at this. So let's do Doc 5. After Columbus's voyage, rulers throughout Europe began to fund voyages. So these are all the voyages here. So a cause of the age of exploration, this is a little cheaty because the question initially was what were the causes and effects, but I'm trying to limit it here. So maybe that one's not the best one. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find the best one for you. But you know what? I'm going to use this anyway because I'm going to show off to the AP readers that I know my stuff. And I know that after Columbus's voyage, there was something called the Columbian Exchange, but not Colombia like this country. And it was also known as the triangular trade. But all these trade routes are formed because of the age of exploration. Now you might be thinking, well, Muller, that's an effect and it's asking for causes. But you know what? The desire for trade, right? Is that economics? Maybe. But if I find another document that talks about the desire for trade, now I have an economics one and a desire for trade category. Again, what do I mean by categories? Well, let's go back up. Here's the prompt, analyze the causes. So maybe I say the causes, 3 causes of the age of exploration were the desire for a stronger economics, desire for more trade routes, and whatever else. I'm assuming there was a religion thing in here. You know what? I see Catholic Christians on document 3. So I'm not even going to read this one, but it's probably about trying to spread religion. And Vasco da Gama, what's he talk about? Ooh, I see devil, so maybe there's some Christianity here. Anyway, we're not even doing a DBQ on the age of exploration for your test. I'm just using this as an example. So let's cut it and let's say, all right, I've analyzed everything. I'm going to use, so I've analyzed everything. Let me go back. My thesis then is, and I'm going to put it in bold and italics just for you to see. The causes of the age of exploration were economic, religious, and the desire for more trade routes. That could be reworded better. In fact, I would highly recommend you reword this because the causes of the age of exploration were economic. It's just not enough. Again, it's asking me, I'm going to delete my who, what, when, where, why, and how. It's asking me to analyze the causes. So I got to go a little deeper into the economic thing. Like there's got to be another term for this. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm actually going to write my paragraph and then maybe it'll help me think of this. All right. Let's go to body paragraph 1. One cause of the age of exploration was economic. Again, I'm going to change economic later. Move my camera up here. All right, so in document 1, now if you watched, apparently you can say in document 1 if you watched my last DBQ video, but I'm going to stick to the old way of doing it. Where is this talking about economics? So I'm going to blow this up and I'm going to try to steal a quote here. So I know they're frightened by the Ottoman trade and expansion. And I'm going to look, it also raised economic concerns with trade routes. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to cut it and then I'm going to paste it. This is just going to help me with my quoting. Sorry for the jumping back and forth to Windows, but I need to use a document to explain why economics is a reason. So, historian, I think his name was John McKay, right? Says in a history textbook that the Europeans definitely noticed that the Ottomans, I'm going to put Middle East, were expanding their empire, meaning they were expanding their trade routes, meaning they were expanding, I don't want to say their economics, but they were expanding their wealth. Okay, I'm going to change that to meaning their wealth was growing, right? You never want to get too much into the exact wording. Hopefully it just takes you one or two times. And I could put Doc 1 here, but I am going to use probably a quote. He says that Ottoman expansion, here we go, quote, also raised economic concerns. And then I'm just going to shorten the quote with, can I shorten this quote? You know what? This isn't a good quote to actually quote, so I'm not even going to quote it. I'll just put, he also mentions, you don't have to quote it, right? Just sometimes it's easy. He also mentions that the Ottoman expansion pushed Europeans to find new trade routes. Okay, good. I could have put Docu 1 after this too. Doesn't matter. As long as you put it once, you're fine. So now I got to dive deeper into this. How do you dive deeper? Hippo, Hippo. Well, if I look at, I guess if I, sorry, I'm looking for the documents now. I guess, I don't really know who this John P. McKay guy is, so I can't get I already know what I'm going to use. Sorry. I can't get a point of view from him or a purpose, like the purpose to teach history, but that doesn't help with reflecting the prompt. But describes the impact of Constantinople. Yes, I'm the teacher. I know about Constantinople. You should too, because we just did a video that had a little bit about it. So I'm going to explain the historical context behind Constantinople. That's going to be my H. The historical context about the Ottoman Empire having expanding was when Constantinople, which is in Turkey, but whatever, I don't need to put that, fell. Many people were rushing to the city to dig up old texts that were hidden by the church. These texts were eventually traded and made Italy pretty wealthy. Okay? That's the historical context. That's why this whole trading rush started happening in 1453 or whatever. Once countries saw the wealth trade could bring, actually, once European countries saw the wealth trade could bring, such as Italy, or not such as Italy, like in Italy, countries like Spain and Portugal wanted to Set sail to find new means of wealth. Okay, something like that. So I just gave a historical context around that whole paragraph. Now I need, and I know this is getting longer than I wanted already, so I could delete this. I need a second piece of evidence, which I think we said we're going to do document 2. That's the easy one because it's just a picture. So you know what? Document 2 falls right into document 1 for me. Meaning I would say, almost fell back there. As seen in the map of Portuguese, I never spell that word right, sailors, the push to get to India was, I want to say they want to get spices. The push to India was solely to find wealth through spices. Sure. No, it wasn't. It's to find a way to get Indian spices via water or by sea. Okay. Many explorers tried, and eventually, let's see which one got there. Da Gama got there. Okay, and eventually, Da Gama reached India or Portugal. Okay, that is Doc 2. That's exactly what happened in the document. It just shows the routes. Actually, was that only? Oh no, there's a few different. Okay, good. I thought maybe it was the only Da Gama's trade route, but it was all of them. All right, point of view. Now, I don't want to get the point of view of Da Gama. I want to get the point of view of people who put out this document, or the purpose of the document, or the historical context behind the document. So I could do another historical context, and I could say, hey, listen, Europe knew the spices were, Europe knew how wealthy the spice trade was because they had been, but they only knew that because they were trading via land. That's why they wanted to get to sea. But you know what? I already used the historical context. I really want one per paragraph. So I don't really need one for this one, right? I mean, and I don't really need to explain the doc. It kind of explains itself. So I think I pretty much proved that the economic reasons for the age of exploration. So I'm going to end it with, because of the wealth that spices and other materials could bring from trade, this is why the age of exploration was caused by a desire for wealth. Okay, why am I saying it loud? Why am I talking like this? Because I like desire for wealth better than economic. The causes of the age of exploration were because of a deep desire for wealth. And one cause of the age of exploration was because of a deep desire for wealth. Do you see how that happened? All right. I have to go. I hope that helps with things. So again, you guys are going to be doing a Treaty of Versailles DBQ soon. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll talk to you guys later.